live. I'm here. Jeff Thomas Black. He sent me a I was getting done with the live and I was, trying to take care of some stuff. I still gotta do Walmart Spark. I don't think he knows if I'm an active delivery driver, but I said the batches won't start hitting until maybe after he has the questions. He said, can we go live? Can we speak openly about your live? It was a great live. So right now, that's what we are doing. He says that can we do a desktop? But I sent the link here. I'm using the YouTube uh, live so I can figure it out how Revolution has, figure out the whole control settings and everything else like that, as far as how you can control your show. I got that there. The link is there, and it's going to be up. This link is open for anyone who wants to go ahead and ask me questions about what I just did with Eli. I do know that he just put a video up, so he saw my live. It's my opinion. That's what I got. It is what it is. Um, it is what it is. Is it a live video or is it a regular video? Community post is not about me. Good. Hopefully, the words that I said in my live did not offend anyone. I put that there. The link is there while we are waiting for Jeff Thomas Black. Okay, he is here. Bam. There
Hey,
he
hey,
is.
can you hear me all right?
Hey, ho, ho.
Can
Yes,
you hear me
we gonna
okay?
start that. Yep, yep. I hear you
Okay.
fine.
Excellent, excellent. Sorry, I was I knew you were on the mobile, but I had my old Macintosh set up here, and the mobile link that you sent me, it doesn't work. Out
Right.
and get my mobile device and reset up myself for
Oh
this
no,
call.
you're
Sorry
all
about
right.
that.
You are a okay, buddy. You are a okay. I know that you just witnessed the live that I
Yeah.
just got done doing. Um
Woo.
man,
Important stuff.
tell me what you thought about it. And I know you said can we speak openly about it, so I know you got some questions there. So tell me what you thought about it first, and then we'll go into the rest of it.
Honestly, I would say, well, I hate starting off with honestly. Anybody that says starting off with honestly might not tell you what's honest after the next thing. So I'm going to take that back. Uh, my opinion is that I don't have any questions for you. I thought you were crystal clear, sir.
Oh, all right. Well then, that even works perfectly for me because I would like
I got
because
some
I would
comments
like to know.
now. I got some
Yeah,
comments now,
yeah. Awesome.
but I didn't. I don't got no criticisms.
Oh, no, no, no. What I'm just saying, comments and everything. Tell me what you thought. Um, well, first of all, when you first saw that I was going live and you saw the thumbnail and the title, tell me what went through your head there.
I got nothing. I I every time you go live, I watch. So I don't even look at the thumbnails. I'm afraid. In your case, so I'm not really one of the marketing demographic. I'm like a dedicated watcher, so that probably don't count for me. But in terms of what did I think of the topic, I think it's a critically important topic. In fact, it dovetails perfectly with the topic of my Dad Dash Jeff Thomas Black duopoly monologue yesterday, in the fact that we have to know whether we're discussing the people or the problem. And so I think when you talked about your brand and you talked about your business, now see, I see brand and business are about the problem. They ain't about the people, are they? They're about the problem. And so sometimes when people, and this is where I'm an old man. Look at this gray beard, right? I get a little crusty too. when I'm talking about problems, and everybody wants to be talking about the people. Now, listen, Eli could be one of the nicest people we've ever met, or he could be a guy we wouldn't want to hang out with after we had a beer with him. I don't know. It is not important, sir. What's important is that we're honest to each other in this public forum where we're sharing messages. And so, one of the things, and I did not comment to Eli, I didn't share any comment to Eli about this, but one of the things, and without seeing, and I haven't seen any Eli response video either. I've been actually getting myself set up to talk to you, sir, because I wanted to talk to you, not anybody else. Um, so I would assume, knowing what I know of Eli, that Eli is going to take your criticism with the constructive fashion that it was presented. I don't think you took the man down at the knees. I think you made some extremely clear points about separating the people that you interview, whether you like them or not, whether you're a supporter of theirs or not. You don't. That's not how Robert Reese chooses his guests. Is whether they're his best friends now or in the future. This is a news channel. And so I think what you said, I experienced firsthand. I happened to have you live last night with your interview with John Billings, as at the same time that I had Glitch Dash Thomas Schubeck live. And so I was watching dual lives, which I often do because I like to support my friends and I like to also know the commentary along with what's going on. Because Glitch Dash Thomas Schubeck is really the kind of the voice of the community right now. I think he's the voice of the people that were victimized by Glitchgate, if you will, which is about DoorDash, not about people, right? So I thought that your message was constructive, not just for Eli, right? Because Eli came in and obviously he brings, as all of us do, the baggage of a lifetime of good or bad or indifferent. We're just all people. We didn't just fall off the turnip truck yesterday. None of us did. In fact, none of us are even particularly young people if we haven't looked around ourselves in the mirror lately, right? We should be a little bit above the cat fighting and the mud wrestling. So my assumption is that Eli is going to hear what you said because I shared your feedback. I was in Thomas Glitch Dash Schubeck's live, and I thought, Eli's kind of dominating the conversation a little bit more than I'd prefer. Now, Eli, being a fair man, also criticized a guy named Dad Dash Steve. I'm the real Dad Dash, but the fake Dad Dash. Eli criticized the fake Dad Dash Industries for coming on a show and taking over the messaging and kind of doing that. So Eli has made that same comment that you have, and I don't think Eli did that with hate. So my assumption, Robert, is that your message was well spoken and well placed and well versed, and I appreciated it thoroughly. And I hope that everybody else did too. And I don't think it's either an indictment of or an endorsement of Eli. I think it's just the hot facts of the situation, sir.
Oh, correct. Because I had to do a disclaimer before I started. And let me tell you guys, I did not write anything down, people. I do everything on one take. That's just what I do. I had to do a disclaimer first because I have seen how he operates with other people. So by me doing that disclaimer and putting else out there, people, it allowed me to continue, the live episode so I can go ahead and defend my subscribers, defend people that just may just tune in from just time to time every now and then. But more importantly, the guest on my show. The guest on my show should not have to be subject to that scrutiny at all, to where they're coming up to speak their mind and it's an interview. So they're like, hey, I'm going to answer these. They're doing a good thing. They're not doing anything bad. But for someone to sit up there and say, this person wasn't ready to be on there, his channel's not large enough, he wasn't ready for the situation. Who are you to say that about anyone? Because last time I checked, when I interviewed Glitch Dash, he only had 250 subs. When I interviewed you, Eli, you still got the same 6,000 or something, but you're sending Thomas super chats and all this other stuff. But this guy that I just interviewed, John, who was doing some phenomenal things in Utah, which doesn't get a light at all, that's bringing some light to Utah. You're saying he ain't ready for what he has put himself to go ahead and do. So I'm just sitting there thinking like, what is the issue there, and what gives you the right to say someone's not ready for what they are trying to do when John Billings said that I'm trying to get 100,000 subs so I can get that plaque. That says enough for me that he is focused on he's focused on his mission. And you can't tell someone they're not focused on their mission because they're starting off their mission from ground one. You know what I mean? If you're starting your mission off on ground one, you can't get to the final level unless you go through all the objectives. and
That's right.
and no one should have to be able, like, we don't know if John said, well, look, we got this guy in there, I see him, he's, like you said, dominating the chats and stuff like that. Wherever he goes, he clicks on his thing and sees that he's talking about the dude, or he clicks on my video or clicks on Thomas's because he has used the glitch, so he knows about Glitch Dash. He clicks on Glitch Dash's video and says, oh, this guy is saying this and that. My subscribers and guests don't have to sit there and go through that. They came up there not knowing that anyone was gonna perpetuate the hate that they have inside for whatever else it is. That don't happen here on Hot Facts. And when you do that, I gotta separate you from my brand, from
Yeah.
this and that, and then we'll walk that fine line. That's what we gotta do.
Yeah, I guess I take probably my biggest umbrage at similar things when people attempt to classify me in one way or another without information, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that is prominent in this space. And I'll prove that because you, sir, are not a news channel, and I, sir, am not a writer. Right? We've been told this. We've been told this. Why would I be told that I'm not a writer when I've written millions of words? And why would you be told you're not a news channel when you've had millions of views as a news channel? Well, that's a question of itself, isn't it? That's a question of the gaslighting, and that's a question of the trolling and the psyops and the sociops and the politics of what's going on here. And politics is what's going on when people are protecting power, right? This is how we know that the twisting and the turning's going on, is that people are protecting their power, and their power is attached to their money. Now, this is
Mm-hmm.
shifting every day, right? The rats are turning on each other, and the people that were involved in this organized crime are kind of having to decide whether they want to get further in with the organized crime or whether they want to get on the right side of history. That's a choice everybody gets to make for themselves. So, what they want to do though is they want to take everybody's choice to make that to make that choice for themselves, that informed consent. They want to take that away. They want to say, well, don't read Jeff Thomas Black's book called Full Dash Closure that really does exist and that you can read and listen to today. Don't do that because we don't want you to have informed consent of what's really going on. Don't watch Robert Reese's news channel because we don't want you to have informed consent of what's really going on. Now, informed consent can mean a couple different things. My friend Torp got crusty with me the other night because I posted a clip of a criminal mindset individual named Roy's Side Money Plans making personal threats on people and saying psychopathic things. Well, no, that was not. I'm sorry, that's what he normally does. This one was. I get confused. That's his normal act. This act was the one where he was basically admitting that it's app slavery and people are living in their car and that things are sliding downhill and this is depressing and people need to get smart. And so I shared that, and Torb said, "What are you, a Roy fan now?" And I said, "No, I'm just a fan of the truth. I'm a fan of the truth. I don't have to think Roy is anything but a man with a criminal mindset and a bad attitude who refuses to read and learn, but to share his words of the truth." So I think we have to separate the people from the problem, right? That's why Pedro DoorDash Santiago was in your chat this morning, and that did not escape me. Pedro Santiago DoorDash does not usually show up in Robert Reese's chat, and Pedro made a comment about Eli's manhood in particular, which would be called an irrelevant comment, which again is fitting in the Pedro mold, rather than Pedro taking that opportunity in Robert Reese's chat to make a constructive comment. Pedro DoorDash Depends Santiago Poopy Pants made a poopy pants argument saying that Eli's not a real man because Pedro has a lower voice and larger testicles is what I gathered from Pedro's argument. And I'm not making that up, Robert. I mean, this is Pedro's argument, right? I'm restating Pedro's argument. We can listen to it in Pedro's own words, right? I don't have to make up crazy shit for Pedro to say. Pedro says all the crazy shit anybody ever has to say. And so Pedro wants this to be about Pedro. Now, does Eli want this to be about Eli, either consciously or unconsciously? Maybe. I think you sent out the clear message that on your news channel, it ain't going to be about Pedro, DoorDash, Duke, Poopy Pants, Depend, Santiago, or Eli. It's going to be about the news. And if anybody wants to try and take you off that news track with their propaganda or their hating or their loving or their whatever else bullshit, then you don't care, right? And that's what I appreciate about you, Robert. And that's where I am too. I might one of these days piss off some people that I made friends. I like some of the people that I met. I like Sergio Avedian. It don't make me feel good to watch Sergio Avedian holding his tongue instead of speaking the truth. I don't like that. DoorDash Jeff, or not, I'm sorry, Rideshare Jeff, Uber Jeep Arizona, man that often speaks good truth. He's also a friend of Sergio Avedian, and he said the same thing. And it's not pleasant to watch your friend have to sit there and hold his tongue instead of speaking the truth. That's the world we live in today. Do you think I don't like a guy that I've been liking for the last year and a half? No, sir. I like him just fine. I don't agree with what he's doing right now. I would like to see Pedro change and stop his bullying and testicle measuring and lolcowing and Hannibal filleting and all this bullshit he's doing. But that's up to Pedro. If that's the audience Pedro wants to run with, that's not the Thomas Schubeck audience. That's not the Robert Reese audience. That's not the Jeff Thomas Black audience. It's some kind of lolcow audience. I ain't never going to be there. I'm not going to watch their lolcow gang stalking shows. It's not my thing, right? And so if they want to do that, yeah, I'm going to disappear, but I'm going to say, look, you lost your credibility in the gig economy industry. Uh, you lost your credibility on your way out the door. So go make your gang stalk and lolcow videos and talk about Beyonce and whatever you want. It's fine with me. Talk about basketball. Talk about hip hop. I don't care, but don't pretend that you're leading the gig economy cult anymore and that we can only move forward with your permission, which the man actually says. The man actually says you're going to move forward, but you're not going to do it yourselves. I'm going to do it for you. If that ain't crazy, Robert, I mean, I don't know what crazy is. And they want to say Robert Reese is crazy, Brian DoorDash Sucks is crazy, Thomas Schubeck's crazy, Robert Reese is crazy, DoorDash Revolution's crazy. Everybody's crazy that they disagree with. You ever notice that, Robert? Everybody's crazy.
Yeah,
How come?
and
How come
and
we ain't
and
the
right
ones
now
acting
this
crazy?
well, right now this guy just said you're nuts. Hazy Train just said this is just a smear campaign. Well, Hazy Train,
Against two.
uh, I I don't know what smear campaign is it going for. Hello, DoorDash Revolution. Everybody else out there, this is no smear campaign at all. Whoever thought it was a smear campaign, I see Eli, you are there. Hello, Eli, I see you
Ain't
there.
no smear
Now, people,
campaign.
you got to understand this. My news channel, I don't take a back seat to no one when I'm doing my news. I don't care who I'm discussing or whoever the matter is. Now, Hazy Train, I put up a link there that is in the chat, and this goes one at a time. If you ever feel like you want to voice yourself, you have the option to do that on Hot Facts. I'm not a channel that hides people down to where they cannot speak their words. You don't always have to sit there in the chats and think that is someone going to read this. You can always click a link and let someone hear you speak. That's all I got to say about that. And that's how we figure out who is who. Okay, that's how we figure out who is who. Okay, this is no smear campaign. This is not anything else like that. Jeff Thomas Black saw my live that I did earlier, and he said he had some comments. And we know that here on Hot Facts, the people in their comments speak. So if they got comments, we let them get up here and put it out there. But one thing's for sure, and one thing's for certain. My managing moderators in the room right now, please take charge. I have moderators, people, and I have managing moderators. My managing moderators, I have three of those. Okay. They have a different role than the standard moderators. So, if they go ahead and do something, if they unchange anything, then that's just the way it is. Please, standard moderators, do not just remove anything that you did not like, because I want to be able to see it. My managing moderators know what to look for to say, okay, that was over the line, that was a little bit, and then they do their managing moderator role. If I have never gone on your channel at all and removed comments or anything else like that because you have stated no one else do anything, you got to make sure you follow that stuff too. All right, you got to make sure you follow that stuff too. Just keeping that way real. I have managing moderators and standard moderators. All right. So please, if you just feel that someone might have said this word, I don't like the word. I have a list of words that cannot be used on Hot Facts that are already there in the system. So if it's not taking it down itself, then it's a okay. Now, if someone does something else weird, by all means, do work. Means do work. You're all free there. Now Jeff is on his comments right now. So, trolls, you will not be able to do what you got to do. My moderators and managing my moderators will get you out of here because we want people to focus on what this man is saying out of his mouth, not what you're thinking in your head and what you were typing. Those are two different things. All right. Floor is yours, Jeff. Go on with your comments.
Well, thank you. So there was the comments are very interesting here, whether they be trolls or not. Coach Eli will ruin all your channels. He's toxic. Uh, Tyree Sneed, if that is who you are, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. You're an individual with an opinion. Now, if I was going to spend my time every day waiting for everybody that I come across in the world to get an opinion from Tyree Sneed, I wouldn't get much done in my life. So I ain't looking for your opinions. And I think everybody probably has the intelligence at this point in their life to legislate our own toxic
Ooh.
environments. If I find Eli to be not to my liking, I will stop watching him, sir. I appreciate your service, Tyree Sneed. You are a fine individual, and you have warned us all of your great feelings. You may move on with your life, sir. Congratulations. I wish you the best.
Oh, well, Tyrese, um, maybe you got to reverse roles and do the reverse thing of Benjamin Button. Remember when Tyrese was singing on the bus for that Coca-Cola commercial? Uh, Tyrese, go back to the bus before you got picked up and start singing when you drunk the Coke, and you're gonna be sitting on the outside watching the bus go by. So,
Well,
okay, reverse analogy. I don't think you guys are old enough to understand that commercial that I just said, but it is it is right there. Uh Man, Jeff. So let me know you said you saw it and you thought I was speaking some stuff. Was there anything that stood out while watching the live earlier that really stood out to you?
yeah, because I think you made that clear distinction that everybody needs to make with or without uh our friend Ty uh Tyree Sneed. With or without Tyree Sneed, we all have to figure out
All
every
right, wait,
day.
wait, 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 Jeff, let me go ahead and push pause on you. I got this
Mhm.
message right here that says it's held for review. I'm gonna show it. All right, I'm gonna show it. And Eli, if you would like to get up here at some point in time, to speak about this, I'm gonna speak about this thing right here.
Mm.
Um, where is it? It says I was trying to show it. Someone took it down. I'm trying to show the one from Large Naturals. I wanted to have that up there so I can put it up there. That's what I was about to do right now, and I can't right now, so that sucks. Um, so I gotta read it. It says that it said show and someone got rid of it. It says Coach Eli masturbates his girlfriend's dogs. There is evidence. Now, here's what I want to say about that. I have heard people talk about what it was, and I guess a dog was they were trying to mate dogs, and they said there that there's evidence of him putting his hand down there. Well, I just want you guys to know that if you were trying to breed a dog, and let's say the dog has to get stimulated, a gentleman will literally put his arm down there so the dog can grip around the person's arm, so he starts humping. Once the dog is humping and gets in his zone, they take the sperm and the semen from the dog, and then they impregnate the other dog. That's how you get large dog breeds mixed with little dog breeds. And some people do it just to see if their dog is ready. Now, I don't know about if you guys know about breeding dogs and other things to stimulate dogs to bring out the semen and the sperm. That is something that happens. That is not bestiality. That is something that takes place when they're trying to get the semen. Now, we got a lot of people where they say, man, that person was born from a turkey baster. Well, how do you put it in a turkey baster? You got to think about that stuff, people. You don't understand. There are ways to stimulate a dog with, and you're not even doing anything. You have the dog smelling the female dog. The male dog gets stimulated. He wants to mount, but they don't want to do damage to the female at all. So they let the dog get around. Once he starts doing his hump, they then go ahead and put there so they can put the semen and sperm inside of there. There's a lot of people that don't know how things work. Now, that's one thing that I can say that you guys can't turn on the dude and put on him because you guys just don't know about that. Now, if you guys saw the dude doing something else nasty to a dog, then there's a different situation, different story there. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what I heard from people say. Some people have said that I saw him go and try to get his dog to hump him because the female dog, they were trying to have puppies. If that's the case, you explain what normal dog owners who have a kennel do when they're trying to get a dog in and they don't want the dogs to get stuck. That's how it happens. So whoever else don't understand that, let me tell you this. I went to school for kinesiology. I stopped that because my first degree I was going for was a zoology. Okay, I'm a giant nerd. In case you guys don't know, so don't be coming on here and trying to say that people do this to dogs and do all that when you don't even know what the process is. Now keep that off of my channel. If you try to make jokes about that, I will have you removed because you don't understand uh, the science behind it. Now that's one thing I can take away from what you guys put on him. Everything else I can't speak on. I'm gonna just keep that way real. So don't bring that stuff here when I just educated you on how it happens. Now I was on you about what really stood out, Jeff. What really stood out, and you were doing your thing. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I think uh, there's so much help online from people like these folks in the chat who want to help everybody frame a person uh, that is
Another
on the
moderator
internet.
just handled it. It said quit making excuses for Eli. I want to put that up there. Let me put that up there, people. I'm reading it. Let me hit show so it pops up.
You know,
That's not
it,
something that should be hidden. Moderators, moderators, you got to understand. Gee, I cut this gentleman off twice because you guys are like it's stuff going on.
it's
If
all
I
right.
can
It's all
see
right.
show, let me hit it so I can read it. Go ahead, Jeff.
So these people are obsessed. There could be nothing more worth. These are anonymous individuals who might have valid points, who may or may not have axes to grind, who may or may not have good motivations or bad motivations. We will never know, but it's worthless. It's a waste of our time. And so, one of the points that I made when I first met Eli, these people came on. They said, "We will haunt you forever," and I said, "Well, good luck with that, because I don't care. Like, you don't matter to me. You never will. This is a labor revolution. Like, I don't. If there's a guy named Eli who has the same side as me on a very important issue, your feelings about him are not my concern. They weren't then, and they aren't now. And so people want to make this about something it's not. Why would somebody try to undermine a labor revolution for the most victimized, fleeced, and exploited workers on the planet with their grudge against Eli? I mean, that's a question we can all ask ourselves. Why would somebody undermine a labor revolution with people like Glitch Dash, Thomas Schubeck, with people like Robert Reese, with people telling the truth, with people putting themselves out there day after day after day? Brian, DoorDash sucks. All these people putting themselves out there day after day after day, spreading the truth when they get attacked individually. And so then these people want to come into us cold and color how we view this person named Eli. Doing that to Eli, won't they get away doing that to me? Won't Roy's side money plan and Pedro go on and say Jeff Black's not a writer and he don't have a real book and he's been working on it for 20 years? Yes, they will. They will. People are going to go on and tell lies. So don't pay any attention to what people say or write or smear. Figure it out for yourself. You go ahead and you watch yourself some Pedro DoorDash Poopy Pants Santiago. You see what kind of credibility he has in the information he's given you. You watch him with Hannibal on his gang stalking show. You see if you appreciate that kind of behavior. You
Well,
can
there's a
watch Eli on
difference
his
with
walk.
Eli, though. There is a difference with
Mm-hmm.
Eli.
I was
Eli,
just going to
from
get to that.
just, yeah, from just like you said, I've gone and watched his channel, and he has admitted like the things that people have sent me. I never spoke to him about. They sent me these things, and he is acknowledging them on his own live. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, I can go ahead and hey man, everything is look, I can do an interview with you. I can do something like that if I ever have to figure something else out. But you've admitted to some of these things that I just don't agree with. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just where we are.
Right.
That's not wrongdoing on me. It's not wrongdoing on you, but I have the
Nope.
choice, the God-given choice, to if I see someone admit to these things, and when I hear the apologies that goes out, that's not real apologies. I'm sitting there like these people have some substance be behind those potatoes and rice.
Well,
There's something else there.
well, Robert, I think what you're saying is the same thing that I'm feeling, which is these days it's going to take a while to get my trust. See, I gave my trust to people like Steve Johnson, Rideshare Rodeo. I gave my trust to Pedro DoorDash Santiago. I was very honest and straightforward with him for a very long time. I gave him my trust, my implicit trust. I gave my trust to Dad Dash 13, the person who has nefariously operated around recently. So I'm a pretty trusting guy, and I think that's who I want to be. If you want me to trust you and take you at your word, I'm gonna give you a chance to do that. And then when you stab me in the back, I'm gonna steal your soul, because that's what I did to Dad Dash. Right? Dad Dash is an evil motherfucker, and Dad Dash pretended to be my friend for a long time. If you don't think that hurts when somebody pretends to be your friend for a year and then stabs you in the back, I'm gonna tell you it does. It does personally. But I don't have no personal thing against Dad Dash. I don't even know who he is. He says his name's Steve. I don't know who this guy is. You don't know who this guy is. He's been making videos for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, depends on what you read, right? So we've got people in our community like Dad Dash. We've got people like Pedro DoorDash Santiago that want to take off after people and tell people that Jeff Thomas Black's a cult leader. He don't really got a book. He don't got your best interest at heart. Well, look, you can read the book or listen to the book yourself. It's not a satanic verses. It ain't going to climb out of your radio and hurt you. You can figure this out for yourself. If Pedro DoorDash Poopy Pants Santiago is your book reviewer, I'm guessing that guy ain't read a book in the last 10 years. So if Pedro DoorDash Poopy Pants Santiago is your book reviewer, man, am I in trouble as a writer? And I would say probably the same for Dad Dash. He don't seem like much of a book reader. So we're
I
just
like
gonna
how
have
you memorize every single title you give these people. You memorize every single title that you give these people when you do it. My question for you is this: how did you personally feel when I stood up for Pedro and the gig community because of things that were being said on his behalf. Let me know what you felt about that personally. Were you in agreement with me, or did you
Mhm.
not want me to say anything and actually back the dude up in that situation?
No, no, I agree with you, and I told the same thing to Pedro privately. See, Pedro wants to pretend that some false accusations have made against him. That isn't true. All I ever said was Pedro's gives bad gambling advice and shitty life advice. Now, that's my opinion. I didn't say the guy ain't making the revenue he said he's making. I don't know how many subscribers he's got. I don't know how many Facebook IDs he's got. I don't know how many phones he's got. I don't know how he operates his business. Don't know, don't care, never have. Now, Pedro wants to say, well, they're coming after me. It's all about Pedro, Pedro, Pedro. No, it's not. You know as well as I do that Pedro trolled me first. Pedro trolled you first. Pedro was the person that was coming to me, dared to say that Pedro needed to evolve. Now, I said he needed to evolve. I didn't say Pedro is lying to you. I didn't say Pedro has a glitch he ain't telling you about. I didn't say Pedro is anything. I said Pedro needs to evolve. He's given some real stale, boring information. I don't appreciate his content anymore. Kind of been a fan for a long time, but he's a slow learner. I don't know what Pedro's doing. He's confusing me. Now, Pedro took great umbrage at that, and Steve Johnson panicked and right his a couple days ago, he said Jeff Black was a ranting and a raving on his podcast. Well, you listen to 2 hours of Steve Johnson and I talking, and you find one of those seconds where I'm a ranting and a raving. I can rant and rave like the best of them. If I'm a ranting and a raving, you'll know it. And there was no rant and a raven, and Steve Johnson was not disagreeing. Now, why did Steve Johnson stab me in the back? Why did Steve Johnson stab Wild Alaska in the back a few years ago, as Wild Alaska has detailed in great specific information over and over
Well,
again.
not a few years ago. The thing with Wild Alaska, when he was Alaska, guns and gears and gigs and guns, um, it was not even 2 years ago. Like, this is relatively new. We don't know why that happened, and then that even branched off and went into a different community with these people on Seho Studios, and they joined in and start talking stuff. And then when I went to go see, someone said, "Go and look at what they're doing over there on Seho Studios." I went in and I typed a message in, and they said, "Oh, we heard about you, Robert Reese." First of all, they never knew about who I was, but what they heard was negative stuff coming over there from Steve, Rideshare Rodeo, all
Mm-hmm.
that bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What they did to Wild Alaska was dead wrong on the family impact it had on them. I'm talking about emotionally. That
Mm-hmm.
was an emotional, like crazy situation there. That came from that side over there. All that side is dark, but we got people out there doing that stuff.
Yes, sir.
And my thing with Eli is, well, you're going out talking this and doing these good things, but there seems like every good thing that you say, there's all bad things. And then when you do your live, you talk about the bad things and you make these sarcastic remarks and egg the people on. So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like you love it. You love it. Because to be honest, quite frank, you're watching Hot Facts. When I watch Eli's channel, okay, the relaxation part might come from walking the trail, but all of the verbiage that comes out is about trolls, haters, Pedro, people that try to manipulate and do these things, but it's walking with the purpose. So if walking is the purpose, I guess the video is complete and that's what you're showing there. But what about the purpose and the verbiage? You can't walk and just sit up the whole time and go at these people nonstop and then say, I'm a life coach, and then we're gonna walk with the purpose. Uh it just don't work like that. It don't work like that. If you're walking with a purpose, there could be something that you want to help people with. You maybe want to help them with their breathing. You want to help them things that may be going on in their life. Um, some people may have different disorders and they have to do different things, and they like to hear someone speak and counsel them and help them give over the hump. That's what a life coach is supposed to be, from what my opinion is in dealing with the life coach. Um, it's not supposed to be I'm a life coach, and then when I get on here, it's all about trolls, haters, um, I need to have full control. I'm gonna block this. Um, my lady says this, so I can't do this and that. Well, life says that you were supposed to do your own thing, and if you can't control, and I hate to use Roy right now, you are the creator of your own destiny. That's what Roy says.
Hey,
You
Roy
are the
can be right
creator of
sometimes.
your own. Yeah, he can be right. You are
Hey,
the
it's okay.
creator of your own destiny. And if you are going to sit up there and create all of these things while trying to be a life coach, it goes against whatever else it is that you are putting out there. Now, I have no problem with the dude, but trying to tell someone how to what they should not have done on their channel for a brand and all of this, what I just mentioned is a whole bunch of branding issues
Yes, sir.
that he has.
Right.
He
Well,
has
we're
two
we're back
channels that pretty much speak about the same thing.
we're back to whether we're talking business or whether we're talking personalities. I just don't have time for the personalities. I just don't. I got a few friends in the world. I got a few people I trust that don't trust very many people, and I got no time for anybody who wants to go around talking about other people. Got no time for it. So I'm not the audience for that. And see, that's all right. I mean, look, if that is the Eli, if that is what Eli wants to carry on as his content, I'm not going to be the critic. I'm not going to be the critic necessarily of that
Right.
because I don't have time to be a critic of YouTube either. But I probably won't be watching a whole lot of it. I will tell you what my favorite content is, and then you can figure out what I like. My favorite content is I like Glitch Dash. I like DoorDash sucks. I like watching Torp. I like watching Robert Reese. I like watching Always Cherry Pick because that guy is leaking a lot of information. I don't really care whether Always Cherry Pick is a guy that I want to spend time with or not, or anything else. What I care about is when he leaks a video with substantive information about DoorDash being a game and a scam and app slavery. Well, that suits all the things I need from Always Cherry Pick. And so, one last thing I want to say, Robert, which will be, you know, I think we can talk about watching people's behavior instead of their words, right? When I said I wanted to talk to you, I had a specific thing in my mind, and you said, "Well, send me the link." I said, "No, sir. I want to be on your channel. You're the news channel." Now, see, when I came into this, I told everybody I ain't gonna be a gig tuber. I ain't building a gig tube. I ain't building accounts. I ain't monetizing this stuff. If you want to watch my stuff and get information, that's fine, but it's free to everybody. Robert Reese can take it. Brian DoorDash sucks. You can take it, put it on your channel. Go ahead, take my content, put it on your channel. You can even do opposition research like Roy and the other people did. You can watch me getting arrested, watch my head hitting the marble floor. You can watch me going to jail. You can watch all kinds of stuff. Now, you ain't going to find out anything about me that I don't already know, but you can have fun doing your opposition research so that you can try and smear me, but it's not going to work. So, the thing that I would say is that my behavior matches what I said in the first place is that I'm not looking to make money off anybody or become a gig tuber or be the next Pedro DoorDash Poopy Pants cult leader Santiago Charles Manson. I'm just looking to be here and teach people the truth and help them awaken from the singularity of DoorDash Santiago and Pedro DoorDash Poopy Pants, because that's not reality. That's just a cult. That's just a cult of bad gambling information. And if Pedro don't like that, then Pedro can start putting out good gambling information. Pedro and Hannibal could stop their gang stalking show and their lolcowing and their anti-Jewish propaganda and all the other things that they're doing. They can stop all their hate. I'd suggest that they're young men. They seem to be wasting their lives and going down a bad path to me, Robert Reese. If I don't know about you, but I got some kids, and if my kids were doing the kind of content Pedro and Hannibal are doing, I'd be looking them in the eye and go, "What the hell are you up to, and who are you in bed with? Because this is some ugly shit you guys
Right.
are doing." Right. And so
Right.
so I also will say in defense of Eli, not that Eli needs my defense, Eli has had some terrible, terrible, terrible trolling in his life. I do not know him long, and I have not known him long, and I do not know him well. But I will say nobody deserves what Eli is facing. Eli can put out whatever contents he likes, just like Torp, just like you, just like me, just like Roy's side money plans, just like Zach Drives Slow. Anybody can put down anything they want, and then we can decide whether to watch it or not. And if people like Tyree want to come around and go, don't watch the Robert Reese because the Robert Reese is just something or other. Well, I don't care, man. My goodness, what grade are we in? I mean, what color is the sky in your world? Mine's blue.
Right, right. Yeah, what color is the sky? Let me ask you this. Was there anything in my message this morning on my walk? And I have to say this again, Eli. I don't know when you'll watch it. I have used that trail many times for my own live videos. I go to the dog park and everything. That was not something that I was doing to do what you do. I have been doing that for a while. Um, was there anything that you thought that maybe I may have went over the line or I was trying to push certain things? Was there anything that you felt that was that was out of line?
Absolutely not. Number one, and number two, I wanted to mention something that I really enjoyed because it reminded me of a mistake that I made recently. Because nobody's perfect. So I was in the Glitch Dash chat, and I was kind of giving the business to Sam Lee, who can be an interesting personality online. He doesn't have a photo, he doesn't go on videos, but he's a person. Sam Lee's a person. He does stuff. He's around. He's got some ideas I don't agree with, but I was kind of mean to Sam Lee, and then something came out that he's 24 years old, and I whacked myself in the head, and I went, "Damn it, I'm being mean to somebody that's my kid's age, and I don't like that." And I said, "Sam, I'm really sorry. That's not what I want to do." Now, the point of that is you talked about John Billings, whether you or I or anyone else agrees with John Billings or his goals in life or where he's been or what he's doing. He came on to what he assumed would be a hostile interview, right? And he manned up and came on, and he sat there and he answered all your questions, and he's a charming, nice looking young guy. And why would anybody wish him anything but the best? I don't think he's been out lying to or scamming anybody or anything else. And so I think Eli made the same mistake that I made. Is sometimes we get so aggravated with space, we take off after some young person or something else because they're holding up what's the other side of the aisle, and we get grumpy, and we can be grumpy old men. So I apologized. I think Eli can apologize to John Billings, and John Billings will accept his apology. I don't think it's that complex. Do you?
No, and that was one of the main things because when I gave John his final words was to say, "Hey, Pedro did nothing wrong. I saw him do something that was wrong, so I called him out on it." You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and then he said if
Woo.
Pedro wanted to do something with me in the future or something else like that, he'll have to get in contact with me and then we can make it happen. He was not against any of that after he just went through that ordeal of being stood up and being lied on for a little bit. He still said that, I feel that if someone does something, you should have the right to call them out.
Yes,
And
sir. And
I
I
felt
think
like that was all the way cool.
yes, and I think very importantly, uh, is the fact that um, John Billings did go on Pedro's channel, and I don't know who has watched the Pedro interview with John Billings, but Pedro was in Charlie Manson mode. Man, the guy was just skulking and seething, and John Billings is on there talking to him straight up and using his words appropriately and carefully. I was impressed with the young man because Pedro was freaking seething, man. And so
And
I've already, I've already,
Pedro only gave him like 15 minutes. Pedro only
that's
gave
right.
him like 15 minutes and then said that, I feel this was a collaboration. Well,
Yeah.
he just did a full hour interview with Hot Facts over all the questions that needed to be asked. We saw him up there on Pedro's. And people, I want you guys to check this out. There's a community post poll on my channel, and it says, who are the best interviewers in the Git Gang? Pedro, myself, Rideshare, Rodeo, GigTube, Real Talk with Roy. I didn't put Hannibal because he's a third party who's a filler. UDM and them don't do it. Pedro and I actually have people on. He doesn't do the interviews for as long as I do, but he's considered an interviewer. I was in the lead for a bunch. Right now, Pedro's at 50%. I'm at 39%. GigTube is at 2. Real Talk with Roy was at 4. And I think Rideshare Rodeo was like at 5. Well, people, I want you to understand that when it comes to interviews, they want to watch Hot Facts. And for this reason here, we can use John Billings as the case study here. John Billings came to Hot Facts and Pedro DoorDash Santiago. You got 15 minutes of not learning anything on one interview and got a whole hour of learning everything from somebody else.
And
So you guys need to go ahead and pay attention to that.
you do not intimidate your guests. You do not put your guests on the spot. You do not allow your guests to be unfairly questioned or cut off before they've had what they wanted to say. And I will say Pedro does all of those things. Pedro does not qualify as even a competent interviewer, much less a good interviewer. Pedro comes off to me as a dishonest interviewer, because a dishonest interviewer does not let the guests speak their truth, right? And John Billings did not speak his truth on the Pedro DoorDash Poopy Pants Santiago show. John Billings kept Pedro from spontaneously combusting on camera. Right, that's what John Billings did. Now we heard the truth on Robert Reese, and John Billings got criticized for that too. Maybe rightfully, maybe wrongfully. I am not thinking that any of us should criticize each other for speaking the truth these days. There's not enough truth in this world. And anybody that wants to go out and speak honestly, speak the truth, they can be right or wrong or indifferent, but I'm gonna be at least willing to listen, compared to bullshitters who want to sell you a cult psychology of false positivity or a criminal mindset, one or the other.
Right, right, right. Got I got you. I got you all the way there. This is what I want to do. Um, because I know I did put a link up there in the chat. I'm gonna give you some final words right here in case anybody else wants to go ahead and click the link. If you guys got anything you want to ask me about, why I did the walk and all this other stuff, you guys can go ahead and do that yourself. All right. So Jeff, I'm gonna give you the last words right here for yourself before you go ahead and head on off. And then anybody else that wants to click the link is there. I'll go ahead and add you in.
Thank you. And yeah, Robert, can you hear me? Okay, I had a couple calls coming in. Am I back?
I got you.
All right. So thank you, Robert. And again, I wanted to come on your channel because I am here to support the gig economy, uh, gig tubers and workers, by helping you to know the absolute truth of what this entity is, from a technical standpoint, from a human standpoint, from a psychological and sociological standpoint. And so that's a lot. There's a lot of people that don't want you to have that truth.
That is actual factual. They don't want you to have that truth. But people, just like
It
the
looks like my
WWE superstar, the truth will set you free. John just left there. John just left. He's getting calls. That link is still up there. Can you go to the live really quick? That link is still up there. Wait, Jeff is back right now. Let me see. Yep.
apologize. I apologize here. I
Oh,
got a phone call that kicked me right off. So
oh no, you're all right.
if I may finish, I apologize, everyone. So I think that the really important part is to start showing more kindness towards each other. Showing more genuine trust and communication with
Let
one
me see.
another. I think we need to roundly suggest anything that approaches gang stalking or smearing or anything else. I just don't think that's necessary in any space where adults are trying to do something for both the community and our future. Because let's be clear about this. This gig economy uh, disruption that we are seeing right now with DoorDash and all of the workers waking up to the fact that this is a game rigged against them, and there's an entire community of broadcasters out there that have been allegedly supporting them for years, that were maybe just profiteering off them. And when I say profiteering, that means they're getting money and you're not. And so that makes people angry, and so the people are angry, and the people have a right to be angry. I ain't angry. They didn't fleece me, Robert Reese. They fleeced my friends. They fleeced my friend Thomas Glitchstash Schubeck, and Thomas Glitchstash Schubeck is one of the leaders of the community. You can't make me one of the leaders in the community, because the first thing I tell you in chapter 1 of my book, if you're so kind as to read it, is I ain't going to be your leader. I'm here to teach you something. I'm here to tell you something. I'm a writer. I'm a recluse. I like to be with my family. I like to be out in the country. I like to be outside. You see, I'm outside all the time. Ain't looking to be famous. Ain't looking to be your leader in the gig economy or for the global labor movement or anything else. I'll write for you all day long. I'll write for you about civil rights. I'll do all that. When I was younger, I used to put my body on the line. I used to go to jail for you. But I'm not going to do that anymore because I'm big boned and those handcuffs just don't fit on my wrists as well as they should. I'm a big boned individual. So I just want to thank everybody. And remember, nobody can make you something you're not. You ain't gonna make me the leader of the gig economy because I'm not. You can go ahead and join Thomas Schubeck and Brian DoorDash Sucks and Torp and Robert Reese and the DoorDash Revolution and Uber Jeep Arizona and whoever else is giving you good, honest, integrity filled information. That's what I'd suggest. And if you want to listen to fluffernutters and people that are telling you lies and giving you false positivity, you can do that too. But I'm going to be here telling you the truth. And whatever you want to say about me on the way or anything else is just fine. It's okay. It's okay, and it has to be okay. And it has to be okay with Eli, and it has to be okay with you because when you're telling the truth, you're going to be the least popular person in the room. That's just a fact of life. I've been doing this for a long time. When you're telling the truth, you're going to be the least popular person in the world. You want to know who's dead? Most civil rights leaders that ever lived. That's who's dead, right? Yeah, that's how you retire as a civil rights leader is to
Ooh.
a grave. Okay, so if you think going into the civil rights business is for a good time and profit, you're stupid. You're really, really fucking stupid because it's not. It's not a good time. It's not a good time. I don't like dealing with people that have been murdered by the state and people receiving injustice and all those things. It was a very hard thing in my life. I like dealing with the gig economy. I think you all are a fun and interesting group of people. I appreciate you a great deal. And I like writing for you. I ain't going to be your leader. You can't make me be your leader. And Pedro DoorDash Poopy Pants and Steve Johnson and Dad Dash can go around telling everybody Jeff Thomas Black wants a cult, and I still don't. Okay, maybe somebody else can be your cult leader, but please don't choose Pedro DoorDash Glitchy Pants Poopy Pants Santiago because he's a terrible cult leader. He gives you bad gambling advice. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert. Thank you,
No
Robert. Thank you,
problem. No,
everybody.
thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you, Jeff.
Right on,
Now,
everybody. Peace
now
out.
people, I want you to understand. That was Jeff. He just came on up. I got done with my live that I did this morning. He hit me up and was like, "Can we talk about this openly?" He said, "Great live and everything else there. Can we talk about it openly?" That's what it was. Now, what I would like to know is, we hear from certain people. Is there anybody else who would like to go ahead and click the link? The link is up there. The link is set for one person at a time. There will not be a bunch of people up on screen to cut people off because I want you to say what you mean. The link is up there. It is pinned. If someone else wants to pin something else there, go ahead and pin it there. It is up there. Well, don't pin it there. Click the pin that's up there. It is up there. If Pedro DoorDash Santiago is there, if he wants to click on, I would like to ask him how he felt that I backed him up on certain things. I would like to know how he feels about that. I would like to know how he feels on how I said it don't matter if it's Hannibal or anybody else there. When you're doing a show, everything else, you want to make sure your people are protected and safe and everything else. I would like for Pedro to answer those. No argument discussions, but just questions like that. If he wants to click the link is there. If anybody else wants to click the link, um, you can go ahead and click it. I'll give you a little bit of time, but I do know that there has to be more people out there who are not afraid to speak their mind and literally ask me questions. I gotta address one thing right now though. Chame, Chame, and Ricky and everybody else that said Robert was so stupid he didn't know that Tommy was interviewing him. Um, Tommy asked me, could he ask me some questions? And I said yes. Two people asked me questions. I don't know how I got tricked into listening to the questions that you asked to ask me. I don't know how I was tricked into an interview. First of all, that was not an interview. That was you asking questions. You said, "Can I ask you questions?" So don't go on anybody else's stuff and say, "I tricked Hot Facts into doing an interview with me." That never happened. You asked me personally, can I ask you a few questions? I wanted to go on your show to ask these. You could have came on mine, but you weren't here on Dad Dash. So I wanted to ask you. I said, go ahead. That was not an interview, G. You just asked me some questions. And I don't know where I was lost in the translation that I didn't know that you were asking me questions when I was coherent and I was answering what you were asking. So Tommy and Ricky Knight and everybody else who thought that was funny, it doesn't make any sense. An interview is what I just got done doing, what Jeff wanted to do. An interview is what I did with John Billings and all the other people that I have done interviews with. That's an interview, scheduled interview. Tommy, you said you got like 40 subs and you get like 250 views on like four videos. Congratulations. Keep that up because that is how you actually do succeed. Okay. One thing I will tell you whenever I told you guys that everyone's numbers will increase if I appear on anything that they do, just go back and check. Dad Dash was averaging like 39 views every live. Hot Facts with Robert Reese went on there while they were asking those questions, and Dad Dash almost has 400 views on a live when he was getting like 40. It's only attributed to Hot Facts and the news channel appearing on your show. And Dad Dash did a great job to allow them to ask questions. I figured out that Dad Dash was learning how to moderate and mediate. So I worked with him on that too without even doing it. Point, people, and message. Tommy also said that he doesn't want to come on my show because he doesn't want any of my subscribers. Well, Tommy, all of the positive news and things that I do, all those people, and Jeff Thomas Black just said, you have millions of views. All those people that watch Tommy will want to hear what you got to say. But if you sound like this all day, Tommy, raw hot facts, and then you curse every other word and all of that, no one's really going to want to watch that. But me being hot facts, I interview people that have something interesting going on with them. And I would love to interview you to figure out, why you are the way you are and get it over with. I'm getting feedback from people saying, why are you going to look for an openly racist driver? We got people saying that outside of no tip, no trip, my food was cold, my food was late, all this other stuff. Well, if we have, and hopefully, if the person wants to show their face, oh well, if they want to sit, behind screen, what's up, Cruising Dasher, and everything else like that, that's perfectly fine too. We can disguise their voice so that they can speak. But my thing is, people, you got to understand what's really going on out there when you're doing these deliveries, who's delivering what, who's giving the black eye. And for people who don't want that hot facts, they just don't want to get the real reality of what's going on. There was one question that I really missed asking John Bill Billings. John, if you're watching this, you had a video and you had two orders from two different apps. And you said sometimes you have to release the orders. I wanted to ask you, are you accepting orders and holding them for as long as you can until you realize you can't do it and then you release it? That's part of dirty apping because customers' food's going to be cold, and everything else there. Back in the day, they had decline now. That's a practice you really don't want to use. I forgot to ask him that. That is one that I wish I could have got on camera, but I'm doing it now. He said sometimes you have to release the orders, meaning he accepts the orders, and when he can't do them because it's too much of a load, the addresses might be going here or there. It might be a little bit different. So then he releases. People as drivers, that's something that we don't want to do. We want to make sure the merchant gets their thumb up for having it done on time and the customer being happy for getting their food on time. If we hold orders and release them, chances are the merchant and the driver are going to get hit with a bad rate rating or something else like that, maybe even a contract violation. I want to ask them, what was that about? Are you doing that and why? And are you going to continue doing that? Because all of that flows into the dirty apping. That's something that I wanted to do. The link is up there. Don't be shy now. Don't be shy. I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes. You guys know I like to do 1 hour. I'm an hour and 5 minutes on. I gotta go do some Walmart Spark right now. But Jeff wanted to get on and say, can we talk about your live right now and what you did openly? That's what I did right now. If anybody wants to get up here and speak, you can. If not, you'll have to wait until the very next show. And when the very next show comes, people, tune in. You're watching Hot Facts with Robert Reese, the official news channel of the gig economy. And Coach Eli, I hope you understood what I was speaking about and how I have to represent my brand, my guest, and my subscribers. I also have to make sure I represented the gig world because we were hit by some blows that should not have been there. Hot Facts got your back. Remember that. If nothing else, we out of here like Chuck Woolery in 2 and 2. Peace out, people.